Today we are going to build a Ratchet from a strawberry box. First of all, don't let me be misunderstood by the concept of Ratchet that wonderful Neus DF might perfectly tell you about the marketing of Rosalia, right? The Ratchet style, her Ratchet outfit. No, okay, we are talking today about a musical as well, in fact, but also mechanical device, right? The mechanical ratchet. Okay, let's get started. First of all, enjoy all those tasty strawberries. And let me start by turning off the shadows and turning on the axis. And I also will take advantage of this simple style for easier drawing, right? And I am going to take one of those corner pieces. We'll move it a little farther from the box to make it clear, right? And we need to use a saw at the workshop. This in SketchUp will be made by double-clicking the component and selecting the push-pull tool. I'm going to shorten this piece. As I said, we will cut it at the workshop in two halves, right? Two equal pieces. That's it. I already have one. And I am going to make an array, a circular array with the tool rotate. Okay. Let's select the piece, the tool rotate. I am going to place a ruler by holding it with the Make key, and we'll hit the second click over here. And for the third one, I first need to hit the Control key or the modifier key if you are working on a Mac. That's it. And to place the piece, I'm going to hit here, or otherwise I could as well write 45 degrees, as you can spot here in the dialog box, 45, okay? So third and last click. And don't forget to make the copies for the array. In this case, we are making 7 copies, which is 7x. Enter, and that's it. This is the ratchet. I am going to select all of its pieces, and by right-clicking with the mouse, I am going to explode these components, right? Now I will select all of this geometry again and will drive it into a new component. That's it. Now I need to make a hole. We are going to drill a hole at the workshop on this component. In SketchUp, we will be using the cycle tool. Click on the center, and I'll be typing 0.4 centimeters, which is a diameter of 0.8 centimeters. Now, I am going to erase all these lines, and the next step will be pushing this cycle in order to drill a hole, as we said. That's it. The hole is made, but you have a cover here that should be deleted as well. If you want to delete a surface, remember that in SketchUp you should use the selection key, click with the left button of the mouse, and then hit the key delete. Remember that in a Spanish keyboard, the key delete is represented by the letters SUPR, which stands for suprimir. Okay? Right, let's continue. It can be useful to make a little axle over here, let's say 2 centimeters. You will spot its utility later. Now I am going to draw the shaft, right? The shaft, the spindle for the ratchet. To do so, I'll take again the tool cycle. I'm going to type, remember, 0.4 centimeters, which is represents a diameter of 0.8 centimeters, and I'll be pushing this shape into a cylinder. Remember that I recommended to use a wooden rod of about 30 centimeters, right? That's it. Let's make it a bit more beautiful by painting it. And don't forget to drive it into a component. To do so, select the piece, click on the right button of the mouse and create the component. It can be useful, as we did before, to place a bit of an Excel on the center of the piece, right? This will help us later. Okay, I'm going to fit the rod into the ratchet. To do so, as you can imagine, you just select the rod and move it from this very point to this very point, right? I recommend as well to move the rod a bit farther up to the drawing, like 1.5 centimeters, and it will make it work later. Okay, next step consists of taking one of the longer boards of the box, and I'm going to take it over here, and we'll be rotating it on the green axis, 90 degrees. And now I'm going to enter the geometry of the component by double clicking it, and I will be using the tape measure tool to make a help line at 5 centimeters from the top and through the middle point of the width, right? This is the point that we are interested in. So I am going to mark it for some help. And we are going to drill a hole right here, okay? It should be just a bit larger than the diameter of the rod. So I am going to type 0.5, which gives a result of a 1 centimeter diameter cycle. Let's push it down to the thickness of the board, and that's it, drilled. Okay, let's delete the help lines for clarity, and let's place the board. I'm going to take it and move it from exactly this point to exactly this one. Okay, remember, this measured in this extreme of the rod measures in 1.5 centimeters. So if I move the board down on the blue axis 1.5 centimeters, it will get stuck into the ratchet, and we don't want that. So I'm going to leave up it on the blue axis, just the thickness of the board, which was 0.3 centimeters, right? But this way the mechanism will be rubbing and scrubbing on the wood from the board with the wood from the ratchet, right? So let's give it some clearance, like on the blue axis 0.1 centimeters, which is 1 millimeter, and there you have this space, right? Okay. Second side of the body of the ratchet will consist of another board, which I'm going to copy by moving the original one and hitting the Control key or the modifier key on a Mac, right? And I am going to rotate it on the green axis, but this time 180 degrees. Okay? There is a simple way to place this board below the other one, and it consists of what follows. I will check the size of the ratchet in width, which is 3.25 centimeters, and that's exactly the line that I am going to draw over here. 3.25 centimeters, right? So now, if I pick the board and move it from this point onto that one, of course it's stuck, right? Because it requires 1 more millimeter and even 1 more, which is added at 2. So I'm going to move down on the blue axis 2 millimeters. Oh, sorry, that was 2 centimeters. 0.2 centimeters, which is 2 millimeters, and there is the needed clearance, right? This line can be deleted, and let's continue. We are almost there now. I need another corner piece. I'm going to move it over here. I'm going to cut it into 2 halves as well by pushing the piece from top down to the middle point. Okay, I've been needing 1 more, so I'm going to copy it in advance by moving and hitting the Control key. That's twice the piece, and as I said, I'll be rotating these pieces on the green axis in this case. You just need to observe what's the axis that you need. You don't have to remember the axis, just to observe. And I am going to move this one by rotating it on the blue axis 180 degrees, and you will spot what for. Okay, I should do it as well with this one. Blue axis 180 degrees. Okay, I'll be placing this piece by moving it from this point to that one. Okay. I need to rotate this half corner on the red axis 180 degrees so that I can place it over the other piece of wood this way. Right. Now I should be making it slide along the diagonal so that I can reach the upper board and glue it, right? To make so, we'll do as follows. I'm going to move it from this point up to the downside of the board, and then I'm going to make use of help line this way, right? And I'll be moving the piece along this help line this way. Okay, that's all. I'm going to delete this help line, and that will be the way that you should be using white glue at the workshop to make this real model with wood, right? Almost the last step consists of taking one of the short sides of the box, and we will be placing it along the body of the ratchet to make it sound against the ratchet. To do so, just rotate this board on the blue axis 90 degrees and move it from this point to this point. It's not going to work this way because it doesn't meet the ratchet, the board doesn't meet the ratchet, so you will be needing to slide it along the green axis up to the ratchet. Not that far, that's not real, just a bit shorter, like this. Okay? And you should be gluing this piece onto the bits of corner. So this should be adjusted, right? It cannot work that way. So I'm going to pick both of them and just to slide them a little into the body of the ratchet. That's it. And that's all. So how does it work? It works this way, right? You grab the shaft with your hand and you wave your hand, and the body of the ratchet rotates around the ratchet, and while it rotates, it stumbles on the crescent of the ratchet, and it produces extreme noise that will make happy to your family and friends, like a clack, 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 clack. And you see that the ratchet works because it cannot practically develop its movement on the other direction, but only this direction, okay? And that's the definition of a mechanical ratchet applied to music. So as I said, this is a device for this Christmas to properly annoy your friends and family. Enjoy!